Okay, looks like it's time to start class. So welcome everyone. I'm so glad you're here for the class. Let's try this camera again. I got it up right. Sue Fuller. And whoa. Anyway, I have been shuttle tatting for about 51 years. And it was the first year I was learning to get the flip and everything down. I had actually, when I was young, I remember when I was between 8 and 10 being fascinated with watching my grandmother tat. So, but then she never actually showed me how. And it wasn't until I was in my early 20s that I just realized I had my eyes closed. I'm thinking while I'm talking. I had to refresh myself, and I had a terrible time getting that flip. So anyway, and then within that first year, I began teaching. I worked at fabric and craft stores and everything, and I began teaching tatting. So that's enough about me. I'm going to go back to the pattern. Oh, look at that. Is it looking upright for you guys? Whoa, look at this, getting that ready. Okay, is it upright? Give me just a second here. I'm sorry, I'm rearranging my window a minute. All right. There we go. This is the little bunny that I made, my little practice bunny. I haven't tied the ends in yet that come out of his. Let me get that. There we go. And first I want to show you, we want to talk about, since this is a beginning class, one of the things we talk about in the beginning class is something that all tatters should do, is when you get a new pattern, you want to look through it first to see what techniques there are going to be. This is crazy, these angles. Okay, so we're going to look through the pattern and do a first read through, and I'm going to show you with my little bunny the path. So let's see here. I'm going to get a hold of this the best way I can. I did practice last night, but okay. The first thing you're going to see, obviously, I think most of you know how to do rings. If you're a brand new tatter, you can set up, because this is a special 6 weeks, we're not starting from the very beginning of how to tat and how to make the double stitch. So if any of you are brand new, we can set up a private live session here on YouTube that we can get together and I can show you how to tat. So if anybody's interested, just let us know in the chat and we will get you invited to a class. I would have to schedule it on a day that there is not another class going on and a time that's open. I know that Pam, I think, has already set up or is setting up some classes to have in private for needle tatting, and we each have to see when there's an opening in the schedule, but that can be easily done. Okay, the next thing here, chains. So rings and chains are basic, of course. So what we're going to be covering as far as techniques today is it takes a self-closing mock ring. So we'll be going over how to do that. Also thrown off rings. Now notice that the self-closing mock ring is abbreviated SCMR. Thrown off ring is TOR. Now, a thrown off ring is exactly the same as a floating ring, which would be abbreviated FL. So we'll be going through that today. The other thing this pattern requires is a dot picot, which is really fun. Many of you have probably heard that, oh, you can't make a ring smaller than like 4 double stitches or something like that. However, a dot picot is just a ring of only 1 double stitch. And like I said, next week we'll look at substituting a bead in the nose. So the path we're going to be starting, and this is another thing to check out. So when you start tatting your pattern, you have a good idea of where you're going to be going. We're going to start at the bunny's haunch, or his, I guess you could call it an upper leg or a thigh, but a bunny has a haunch. And we're going to be doing a self-closing mock ring. And the one thing that self-closing mock rings are really good for is throwing off rings, which the foot down here is a thrown off ring. Because a mock ring is made of a chain, and so you have 2 shuttles, so you can do a thrown off ring. So we would tat up the back. There's a little picot for an ending join there, and this should be very, very small. And then you tat down to the back of where the foot starts. And now this is a thrown off ring, and it's going to go up around. It has a little toe picot and back down this. Oh, you join it right there. You go up, you join to the body. That tilts that back leg up, so it's facing to the right or left. I guess it's parallel to the body being upright. And then you get back and you're going to close your thrown ring, and then you tat to the tail. Now here we have another thrown ring, and we're going to use the diagram to actually tat this. We're going to go up the back. Now this is another mock ring. As you can see, there's 2 thrown off rings for the ears. So we start the mock ring. We do an ear. We have 1 double crochet, or double crochet. I crochet 2, double stitch. And then we go down and put the little nose on and come down and close our mock ring. Then we're going down, doing another little thrown off ring with a little finger sticking up or thumb. And we finish the front and finish off right at that very small picot, which is usually in patterns, not in this one, but it's abbreviated VSP. And that usually indicates a join, a very small picot join. If you're reading in a pattern it's in the instruction itself, it might be you might see a plus sign with a dash across the top. The dash is for the picot and the plus is for join. So it's a joining picot. Okay, now let's go to the diagram. And as you can see, when I tat a pattern, I write notes all over my paper. So first of all, before we start tatting it though, I am going to show you how to do the mock ring. And I think I'll turn my page over so you have a blank, so you're just seeing it on the blank. Okay, this is a piece I'd already started, so I'm just going to get a couple more. Oh, here I want to show you this first. This is my little sample. And what I've done here is I have 2 thrown off rings. And I didn't finish my mock picot here. This would be a mock picot if when we're on the real pattern. But I want to show you when we get to the thrown off rings, they look just a teeny bit different because this one, I did not post my shuttle through, and we'll talk about what that is. And there's just a little bit in the difference right there in the positioning of the mock picot stitches. They're not exactly on a flat plane. This right one is looking a little higher in perspective than the left one. But if on the second one, I posted my shuttle through, and I'll show you that. And this one you can see if I pull it up. I mean, normally we would want this right down, the bunny ear right down tight, and we'll talk about that. But if you look on this one, if I pull it up so you can see those, whoops, you have to go backwards. There we go. They really do, the two threads, although one looks longer than the other, they really are on an even plane. They look better that way, and you see nice full double stitches and all the caps and everything right below that. Okay. So here I am. Are there any questions so far? Hi, Joanne. Kathleen wants me to show the sample flat to the paper. Okay, let me get my, I'm going to set this down. Here's the bunny. I guess when I was talking, I could have been going around. I'll remember this next time, our path around, and do it this way. Here's my sample right here. Now let's see if we can see the difference. Yeah, you really can't. It's kind of subtle there to see those two threads that look like the mock picot. They're pretty similar, but if you look, you can see this side of my ring doesn't quite look complete. But if I go to this one, see when I pull it up, the two threads, the start and end of the thrown off ring threads, they look much more even. And if you look at the base of my stitches right here, it looks more like a complete ring. It doesn't have the kink like is over on this side, but it's very, very similar. And a lot of people always post their shuttle. I find that it doesn't always work for me. Sometimes I don't want to post the shuttle because I tap very tight and it pulls the shuttle down. And then here are the two little dot picots. I think this one I did not post the shuttle, and this one I did. There's not a whole lot of difference, but I liked the one where I did post the shuttle better. We'll talk about that more. So now we're ready to start doing the bunny using see if I can set him up here and still get my, whoops, where'd my pattern go? Oh, did I set? Oh, that's right. I turned it upside down under here. Okay. See if I can get them both in the picture here. It's funny when everything looks backwards to you when you're on screen. Okay. So I'm going to, let me see if I can put my camera up just a little higher here and still stay in the picture. A pointer on what? Oh, pointing, don't turn up, is what was suggested. Okay, I'm going to show you how I post the shuttle. But now I've got to get my hands in the picture so that everything shows. Okay, we're going to start with a mock ring. I have a continuous thread running between my two shuttles, all one thread here. And so we're going to tat a chain for the mock ring, and I wrap my thread strange around my hand because it's the only way I can keep it going. The other thing you'll notice is that I was originally a crocheter. I learned to crochet when I was 8. So I hold my pointer finger up, not my index finger. And I found when I teach a lot of crocheters, it's just really hard for us to switch and learn how to keep our index finger up. The other thing you'll notice is sometimes my technique may look a little different because, as you can see, I have a very crooked, and it has a big bump on the top of it, arthritis. So I can't keep it up any farther. It slides way back here when I'm tatting. And I also occasionally have to hold my thread a little different way. I have arthritis in my middle finger too. So I'm going to start. Now I'm holding on in the center, and I'm going to get my first stitch. Oh, I forgot already. I'm going to take this out. I forgot already that to set up for the mock ring. So let me do that first. When you set up for a mock ring, the way we're going to close it is by sliding the shuttle through a loop at the very beginning. So we have to make sure that loop is there. So I'm going to grasp my thread. This is my shuttle is down here. And then I am going to go down from the pinch, wrap it around the back of my pinky finger and back up into the pinch. So I have a loop of thread down here. If you ever, just so you know, I'll mention it later, notice we run around the back of the finger first. And so I'll talk about that in just a minute. Now we're going to get our thread set up for the chain. And what we're going to be doing is, if you look down here, you can see I have the loop right there on my pinky. So I'm going to have my tension wrapped to the outside of that loop that is back there. So now I'm ready, because I have the loop, I'm ready to do my first stitch. And it doesn't matter exactly where your pinch is, but now see, I'm already twisted up. I've got to stop watching the screen and just watch what I'm doing. I knew there were going to be some glitches this first time through, and it's these angles. So I'm going to show you one more time. Okay, grab the pinch, go around the back of the pinky and back up into the pinch. So I have that loop. Now I'm going to take my shuttle 2, which is pink, get my tension wrap for my tension on my chain. Now I'm ready to start. And so I am going to make a double stitch. Now I have my first double stitch and my loop is still down there. So I'm going to do, now this bunny has 24 stitches before you get, says the back 24 before you get here. I think I will not quite make that many so we can get down to the foot, but I'll make a few here. It's not, I'm finding that I'm not easily working with the size 10 thread. I need to get a better quality because it sticks. And my finger and my hands, I've had to learn how to retat because of the angles a little. I'm going to do a couple more and then I'm going to put in that little mini picot for the, all right. And I already have a little picot in, but it's not in the right place. Oh, I can see there's a burr on that thread. Maybe that's what happened. It didn't slide up. Yeah, I have a little knot, so I'm just going to keep going here. Oh, there it goes. There it goes. There's my, now that's a big picot. I've got my, excuse me a second. I have my, when I tat with one of these, I need to have the hook facing away from me. And I had my bobbin stuck in the wrong direction. There we go. Now it's coming out the left. I got the little red end that I'm going to chop off here. Okay. So back to my chain. Now I'm going to show you a teeny picot. This is because we don't really want this picot to show. So I'm going to make it just, can you see? Okay. This white thread is not showing up as well as it could. I've made it barely 1/8 of an inch. So when I close it, I just have that little teeny tiny picot right there to finish the work with, right there. Now I'm going to go down and wind up my shuttle thread a little bit here. I'll do a few more double stitches. I guess my hands are nervous today. They're not holding the thread very well here. Okay. Now, when we get down to this point and we get down, we've got the little picot in, and now we're going to chain down to the back of the foot. But when we get here, let's see what we want oh, here's the haunch. Okay, we've got the picot, which is right down there. Then we have to do picot 4, picot 4. This was the first picot 4, the 4 here, and here's the second picot, and we do 4 more, and we're at the back of the, my thread just, my shuttle's too tight, my thread, my bobbin fell out of it. Well, I was hoping for not so many glitches, and I'm not reading. The beginner needle class is Tuesday. All right. See, this is one of my problems with this finger is my thread keeps falling off it because the end is pointed down. So there I've got the picot right there. Now I'm going to do the next 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Now I'm ready for the thrown off ring. And I didn't show you on the how to do this on the fat thread. So what you're going to do for the full thrown off ring is you're going to drop shuttle 1 and pick up shuttle 2. We're going to be using shuttle 2 for the thrown off ring. So take off my thread off my chain thread, and I'm going to make a thrown off ring. Oops, using my, so I just need to, I've still got the loop on my finger pushed way back, which is going to be where we end our mock ring after we get the foot done. Am I still under here? I am. Okay. So I make my ring. I'm going to start my first DS. And so this is where, and it's not the shuttle thread you worry about to get this thrown off ring close. It's this thread. You want to pull the thread right out of there, the shuttle thread. So the shuttle thread is just, there's no loose thread there or bare thread space. The first half is just right next to the previous double stitch. Okay, and I'm almost kind of going to hold it under my thumb so it doesn't move. Now I've done the second half, and so I've got my first. You can see there's just a teeny space there, but that's okay. That'll go away. But remember, as you continue tatting now, that you want to keep holding it because you don't want to let anything hang and that to stretch out. Now for the foot, back foot, we're doing the thrown off ring. We're going to do 4 double stitches. And now we're going to join. I don't want this thread in my way, and it looks like I got something twisted. So we are going to, this is my first time ever of tatting on a video. And so I'm getting all a little twisted up here. We're going to go back to that, to this picot right here, because we're going up around the foot this way. So we've done the 4. Now we're going to make the join right there. And that's going to, okay. It's hard to stay in place here, isn't it? Okay, so I'm tightening up my join. And that has pulled that foot up, so right down here, it's right close. So now I made my join, I do my next 4 stitches. One of the things you're going to notice is sometimes I hold my shuttle with my pointer finger on top. Sometimes I end up switching and using my index finger on top. And it just, It's just something I do once in a while, is switch. I don't even know I'm doing it. And I think it's because of the angle going in. And the length of this shuttle is so long from the shuttle tip to the back. I may cut off the back of this. So do I have 4 on there? 1, 2, 3, 4. I think I have 3.5 actually. I'll put 1 more on. Then we're going to do the, Sue, you're getting off camera. Yes, I am. Thanks, Tammy. Okay. Now I'm ready for the little picot that makes the little toe on the foot. Whoops, didn't make it a picot. And I just used about, this is size 10 thread, just about 1/4 of an inch space there for my picot. So there's his little toe right there. My thread's getting used up fast here. Okay, so now we've got to do the 12 for the bottom of the foot. I gotta stay on camera here. I keep pulling closer and closer to myself. See, Pam? I knew you and Tammy were going to be a hard act to follow here. I may skip the 12 and just do a few less because my fingers are just not working well tatting this morning, or this afternoon it is. Okay, I'm going to pretend my foot is all the way done. Oh, you know what I didn't mention in the beginning? I just started the class and I forgot to talk about the fact that this is a 6-week project. And when we start next fall, after the 6 weeks, this 6 weeks is done, we're going to be taking our summer break as usual, and starting again mid-September for the regular class year. And even then, we're going to be sticking with 6 sessions at a time. We'll do 6 sessions, which will start from the very beginning of tatting in this class, how to do the double stitch and everything. And then we'll go 6 weeks. Then we'll have a 2-week break. And then the second 6 weeks this year, now I am closing my throne ring. Now you can see if I turn it back over this way, my picot looks twisted up there. Here is the foot. I've got the back coming down there. Now my foot. And now I'm ready to, we're staying on the front, so I'm just kind of rotating it back around again. We're going to do finish the back of the thigh, because we've gone around. We're right here where we closed that thrown off ring. Now we're going to tat the I gotta find out where that the haunch. Oh, we have to tat after the back foot down here. We have to tat 6 and then close. So I just need 6 more. And again, I got to switch back to my Shuttle 1. We used Shuttle 2, my pink one, to do the thrown off ring. Now we're going back to Shuttle 1 to finish the mock ring. I just need to wind my thread back up here for my shuttle thread. Okay, so 6 double stitches. I feel like this has been really choppy, everyone. I'm hopefully, as I get experienced, next week I'll do a lot better and keep, oops, I'm off there again. But I'm just tatting 6 here. And I will get a better, I think for tatting, I'm gonna right now pull this down and see how this looks better for you. Here's the chain I'm working on. And I got to remember, one of the crazy things is when you're doing the, when you're teaching, is that, let's see, do I have 6? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, one more. Okay, there's my 6 chains. Now we're going to do the little tail. So again, I need my second shuttle to do another thrown off ring. Go around to get my ring going. And this tail is just a thrown off ring of 8. Now remember, we want to get that really close there and then hold it so that it's going really close. Okay, now one of the things to remember when we are going to have a contest every 6-week session. And at the end, there is going to be a prize of either a $50 gift card or items that are valued at $50. And for every piece of homework you turn in, you get an entry during the 6 weeks. You just have to have it in by the end of the 6-week session. And this is for all 4 classes. So if you get entries when you work on the patterns from the Monday class, you get entries when you work on the patterns from do them with the needle from the needle tatting class. You get entries for design homework on Wednesdays, and you get for homework on this class. They're all added together. Every time you turn something in, your name will be put in the hat for the drawing. Now, the other nice thing Tammy is doing is on Monday, she had done the edging, but the edging also had a corner on it. So if you did the edging, you got an entry. And if you did the corner, you got another entry. Do we mail our homework to you? Oh, okay. Yes, I forgot the homework. I do need nail polish to help the thread slide better. Getting off camera again, I know. Okay, so this tail is just plain, and I've got the 8 stitches. So again, when I close a ring, you definitely, with a thrown off ring, you don't want this starting point thread to right here to stretch. So you want to get a hold of that. Plus, I'm going to, all these threads you see are probably in the way. I'm going off for a second here, guys. Because I don't want this thread in there. Okay, so when I close this ring, I like to try, I can see now that I've got the stitches, the tension is good on the chain stitches, but I want to be able to hold the beginning. And so I'm just going to kind of curve my ring around as I start closing it up now. I've got my finger over all of it. It's just loose enough for my thread to slide. And when I get down to being about this far, oh, I got that thread right through there. I shouldn't have slid that back through. Then I pull it up so I can see the end of my ring, and I can watch that little loop get smaller. I'm going to use bigger thread next time. So there's my tail. Now, I don't know about anybody else. Oh, what just I said about homework. Okay. Homework is sent in to the online tatting class. And in the subject line, you want to put, for this class, you'd want to put homework beginners or homework Sue, because that will be sent then to me. I will make sure it's all done up right for Melanie, and I will send it in to her. So send the homework for this class in to me. And the thing is, if you make this bunny, and now this tail is plain, the first thing I thought when I saw it was, oh, I'd love a tail that had little picots in between every double stitch. That's gonna make a little fluffy, more of a little girl dainty look tail. If you send in a version that has that tail, then that bunny would be another entry. So if you do two bunnies and do something different on them, or even if it's not the actual homework piece, but any other piece you're working on, especially if it has the techniques that we're working on, you'll get an entry for that also. And yes, what you want to do is save it as a JPEG, your photo, save your scan or photo as a JPEG and attach it to the email. In the body of the email, you want to give your name and oh, what else, Tammy, do we need? Oh, the tufted picot. That would be fun too, Kathleen. And you send the scan in as a JPEG attached to the email. And I know we need your name as you want it to appear on the homework page. So if you only want your last initial in the body of that email, say your first name and just put your last initial. Or if you have a username you'd rather use, you can use a username. Yes, you need the country also that you're in. One of the reasons we always need that information is because of our nonprofit status. Are there any other questions at the moment? I think I'm doing this in an awful confusing way. So anyway, here's my haunch. It's still not, here's my, see, my loop came off my finger. And I shouldn't have let that happen. This is my beginning mock ring loop. And now that it's off my finger and I can see it's not going to be big enough, one of the things, just in case you do lose it, you can always put on like a stitch holder. I'm going to show you right now what I have for all my tatting stuff that was made for me. It's actually a pot holder. It was a quilter who made this, and she stitched in all these little plastic bags. And so, like, here's my stitch holders. I also have a bail right here pinned in. I'll unpin that. This is a jewelry bail. And as you can see, it's nice because the head does not have anything in between it. There, it's good on the orange, like a regular safety pin has. And the other side has this big loop. And it is nice and thin like a pin. So you can use it just like any kind of marker. This is a knitting stitch marker. And this bail just closes, the end just closes and slips in. This is nice because it's lightweight, it's thin, and as you're working, it doesn't get in your way. For this one, because it's a big one, I'm just going to stick in my big one. The other thing I have in here is little rubber pieces so my beads don't slide around. They're textured. I have my floss threaders. I have some beads, and actually these are some embroidery floss holders to wrap extra thread on. And I got pins. I've got a needle up here. You probably can't see that very well. Very well at all. There it is right there. And then it just closes, and it's got the button where the hook is. I'm really having trouble staying centered here. So I'm going to slide that on my, just so I don't lose my mock ring loop. Oh, I didn't post the shuttle, did I? I'll post the, I forgot about that. Oh my gosh. I think you guys better give me, hopefully you won't give me an E or an F. I'll take a D for this class. But what I want to show you is it comes off your hand. We need to put it back on our finger. I'm going to pull the left thread here. This is the shuttle thread that's coming out of the center of the, and if I can't pull it, I also have a little tweezer here. If I need to grab the thread and pull it out, make my loop back better. But to put it back on, we put the thread, we took the shuttle thread and wrapped it around the back. And then the front thread became the double stitches. So if you have it on this way, so that the shuttle thread coming out of the double stitches goes to the back of your pinky and back up around, and is the thread coming out of the top of the first double stitch, then you've got it on the right way. You don't want to have it twisted the other way. I'm going to keep it back on there. I've got the tail. Now I'm going to go back. I'm just going to wrap it around that finger for fastness here. And continue up the back. There's 24 stitches on the back. What time are we getting to? Okay. Oh, I didn't switch my shuttle. Oh, yes, I did. I'm back to my main shuttle. Okay. So now that that tail ring is closed, and this again, I want to bring it up really close. Next time I'm going to do this bunny out of size 3 thread. It fell off my hands. I guess now I am getting a little nervous at the way this is going, and now I've got it. I'm going to forget my loop on my finger because I know I've got it held with the stitch marker. I'm just going to do, oh, I didn't close my, you know what? I forgot to close my mock ring tonight. This is getting terrible. Okay, here's my loop, and I was talking about the loop at the beginning. So I should have closed this mock ring. I'm sure somebody said that and asked about it back in the chat. Sometimes Sue, doesn't it up to the tatter if she posts the shuttle or not? Oh, yes, yes, it definitely is. Close the haunch. Thank you, Kathleen. I forgot to close the haunch, and I have the tail in. So we're going to have a tail inside our haunch. Okay, to close the mock ring. Oh my gosh, Tammy, are you going to fire me? Okay, I am going, this is the beginning. This is my beginning loop. And remember, it was supposed to be on my pinky this way. I'm going to, oops, I got to get that off. Get that out of the way. So here it's on my pinky, and I have it on the correct way. So what I'm going to do now is I don't have it on my pinky the correct way. Okay, I know it. Let me get that back on again. Gee whiz. Okay, it's on my pinky. I am going to go through this loop on my pinky. Just, I'm a right-handed tatter, so right to left. And then once I have it through that loop, I can remove my stitch marker. And I'm going to take hold of the very first double stitch and the end and start pulling. Now notice how this loop is closing up. And I think I have my thread back. Oh no, I got it right. The loop is closing up and the mock ring is closing up. And I'm going to pull until the loop thread is totally pulled up into, or as close as possible, into the first stitch. And I'm twisting. And I don't have it there yet. There, now it's closed. So what I have is a little teeny body, or I have the haunch, which has a really big blop up there. And I have there's the haunch, there's the foot, and there's the tail right there. And this looks like terrible tatting. And then I would just finish up the back. And just like before, another thrown ring, and do the one ear thrown ring, a double stitch, the other ear down to the nose. And that little nose is just going to be, I'll make one here. It shows we are all human when we make mistakes. Oh my gosh, I've made so many of them today. I guess I don't even want to think about it. I'm just going to say to myself when this is over, next time it will be much better. I'm going to do a couple stitches as if I am got the ears done. Teresa's, I know one of you is here, the other one of you, I don't know, but give me another chance, please. Breathe, Sue, just breathe. Okay. I've got to really work under the camera to get this so I'm getting my hands at the right angle. Now I am going to do the little nose here. And this is a thrown off ring. So I'm taking my second shuttle, going around my hand for my ring. But all I'm going to do is one little double stitch right there. Now I am going to post my shuttle because I know I like the look of that better. So I am going to just put it down through the ring. Can you see how that's going down through the ring? Now I'm going to close it up. And see the ring thread's getting smaller. And one of the things I did notice is you can't really have it under your hand. You need to be able to get this shuttle thread to the right. Uh-oh, got a knot. I must have let a stitch twist when I was closing it up. When I pulled that top thread. But when it closes up, it'll look just like this guy right here. This was the, let me see if I can get this looking here. You can't see much different, but this is the one that I did not post the shuttle through, and it's almost kind of turning sideways instead of laying flat like it should. And this one, where I posted the shuttle, just lays there perfectly flat and round and sticks out so cute. So, and it would look this way on your bunny. There's this little nose sticking out. At this point, have I forgotten? Put my hand behind it. Right, Tammy? There we go. Oh, this is. Okay. Yes, post from above down through the ring. Oh my gosh, I think I am all done. Did I miss anything? The only thing I didn't talk about, and I will mention it next week, is the end. Now, Tammy suggested that it would be cute just to, when you get down to the tummy here, you've got that tiny little picot, and you can pull your shuttle thread down through it so it's to the back, or your chain thread. And Tammy suggested just tying your ends in a little bow there, like he's got a little bow at the bottom of his at his belt buckle area there. I am going to, next week, we haven't done this in class, as far as tatting in tails using a floss marker, or a floss puller, or a loop of thread. And if you put that in here, when you get down to the haunch, if you put it in here, you actually would have to leave it in until you get all the way back down to here, but you would have that little floss threader end sticking out here. Or we can use a needle to slide that end, that last end inside, and I would do one-sided inside stitches this way and one-sided inside the stitches the other way on the haunch. Or you can weave it in, and weaving it in underneath the caps of the stitches is what we talked about in the beginning class. So I think we covered everything. I'm going to have more samples made up for next week. If you make the tail with the picots on it and add the nose, if you make a second bunny, add the nose, or this little picot right here, if you add that in, it looks kind of like a little buck tooth, which she shows right here hanging down on this bunny, or it could be a couple whiskers hanging down. Those would be variations. So you could send in your bunny. Now, Tammy, could they just do a separate tail piece and a separate head piece with the different ways of doing the nose and the tail, or does it have to be the whole bunny to count, a whole new bunny? Well, thank you, LMD and Robin. Thank you for accepting all my glitches and all, and I promise I will get better. So how are we doing? I hope you all will come next Monday when Tammy's doing the tulip pattern in the regular class. And notice there's a couple different versions of it. This one here this actually is using a folded ring to get the shape of this petal. And then over here, she's just got 3 regular round rings. And there are 3 different stems. This is a spiral, Josephine spiral stem. This one's a regular, just double stitches. And it looks like this one is wrapped. So this is going to be a really fun pattern and a lot of techniques to learn. Yeah, yeah. Tammy has 3 kidney beans and a jelly bean on hers. Oh, thank you, Narsha. All progress. Your progress is all. So send in any progress, even if it's bits of a head with different nose or a tail with a different style or anything else. And it all counts towards that wonderful $50 gift. So, okay. It might make it look easier to tat even with the new technology. Thanks, Sin. Pam, I did not do better than you did, Pam. So we'll call it equal, but I still think you're better. But this is so much fun. I am so happy to be doing this and so looking forward to do better in the future and get all my angles figured out. So thanks for coming, everybody. And I'll have the replays up tonight. And I mentioned the floss threader that a lot of us use. I'll put it on my hand. This is a dental floss threader. And you can just buy a whole nice little package of them. They're cheap. You can buy them at Walmart or anywhere. And that's what we'll be using to tat over our tails and tat over. Actually, we're not going to tat over our tails. Instead of tatting over tails, we're going to use this to pull the end back through and in through under the stitches. Oh, thanks, Kathleen. I don't get nervous about the talking part, but I sure need to work on these camera angles. So you're welcome, everybody. Thanks so much for coming and hope to see you next week. I'll let everybody know what our pattern is going to be. It will be something that can go on the card, something, hopefully a little butterfly from Kathleen. For magic threads, yes. Thread size, it's a size smaller. And, you know, a needle that has a head that's, I think I have one setting out here. This is a regular needle that you're going to need, like for my size 10 thread, I'm going to need a needle that has a head big enough for my size 10 thread to go through. Also, this is a regular sharp needle. And I think when I started, oh, maybe here it is. I have a, oh, here it is. It's actually got a little thread on it. See how big of a head this has? I don't know if you can see it. It's got a really big head on it. The whole gold part that you can see is the head with the thread coming out of it. This is a tapestry needle, and you can get heavier threads in it. It's not very long, and it also does not have a pointed tip. It looks pointed, but it's a little teeny bit rounded off so it won't split your threads. I'll get that up, Kay. Hi, Kay. That'll be up right after class. I'm going to finish my lunch and get your replay up on the webpage and get mine up when that's done later today. Remember, people, it does take a couple hours for this to be processed. And right now, this time of month, it takes a little longer than normal because of the fact that people who teach on YouTube has to do the final. First, Tammy's husband will be working on getting it, and Tammy also getting it set in the right in the right format with everything that YouTube needs. Then it goes into YouTube, and they do a processing. They make sure there's nothing bad in there, or sounds that aren't good and different things. And right now at the end of the month, they're always really busy because people are sending in so many when those teachers who have like a once a month YouTube video that happens at the beginning of the month, they're trying to get all theirs in too. So there's a lot of processing for so many videos that it gets a little stacked up. So it takes just a little bit longer for them to get it up for us. Size 26 tiny for size 40 thread, 24 for 20. Thanks, Kathleen. You are a wonderful information source. Oh, counter cross stitch needles are better. Okay. All right. Anything else? If not, I will see you next week. Bye-bye.